All right, we're hot.
Okay, let's go.
All right, welcome to another episode of the Hawk's Nest podcast.
Very exciting. It's been a while.
It's been a hot minute.
I think the whole summer, right?
Yeah. But before we get into this episode real quick, I would like to share that we have Instagram now.
Oh.
Yeah. You can follow us at the Hawk's Nest Pod.
What?
Yeah.
We're on the gram?
We're on the gram now.
Okay, so that means I have to get the gram.
Yes, you do. I believe, I'm not going to lie, I believe Mr. Hawk, your son, follows it.
That's good.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And so far, we haven't even announced it, and we have 60 followers.
Whoa.
For not even like posting or for not even making an announcement in an episode or anything.
Right. So, what's the gram? How do I go to the gram?
We have to download Instagram.
Okay, good.
You have to make an account.
Oh, I don't want to do that, but okay. And then?
And then you go and search the Hawk's Nest Pod.
Okay, so it's just pod is in the name.
Yes.
Okay, got it.
And it'll pop up.
And
yeah.
I say subscribe or
and
something?
then you press follow.
Do I say like?
You can like our posts.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I can subscribe.
Yeah. You can follow, and then you can also share. And then every once in a while I'll post little interactive bits.
Mm-hmm.
I believe a bit ago I posted something that said, that gave a hint for the episode that we're about to go into.
Ooh, fun.
Just a picture hint. Here, I'll show it to you.
Yeah. Oh,
and
wow.
I said, what do you think the episode's going to be called today?
Oh, how
so
fun.
Here's our sneak peek.
There he is.
Right?
There he is. Oh, that's really good. Yes, that is exactly what this episode's going to be about.
And I said, here's a sneak peek for the next episode. What do you think it will be?
And did anybody respond? People
responded. The one I can remember is Mr. Hawk fights with a turtle and loses.
This turtle was too cute to fight. Yeah, so I wouldn't have fought with this turtle. But that's cute. That's great. Yeah.
But we'll go right into the story.
Okay.
And the story is called Teeny Tiny Tiny 2 and the Cop Killer.
You nailed it. That's exactly what it is. So I did a little bit of research on this.
Okay.
Because I've been telling this story since it happened. And I'm like, it's really got this two really tragic parts of it.
Yeah.
I mean, like really heavily tragic. And, so obviously the cop killer part, right?
Yes.
So I did a little research and I'm like, did the cop really die? All right, because that's what I had heard.
Okay.
Is that the cop.
Just by ear, rumor, mouth to mouth sort of thing, or mouth to ear.
And I did not find for that year set that these things happened. At that school, I did not find a death in the city of this.
Okay.
So I'm very happy to amend the title of the story.
Okay.
To Teeny Tiny Teny 2 and the cop shooter, or the cop attempted murderer, right?
The cop, or the injured cop.
Definitely.
Teeny Tiny Tiny 2 and the injured cop.
Because the cop definitely got shot.
Ooh.
So that did happen.
Okay.
For sure. So the cop shooter, I guess, maybe is the right title. But did not die. So I'm actually happy to announce, based on my research, unless there's other ways to research this, because they do a pretty good job of honoring fallen peace officers.
For sure, yeah.
So I'm happy to say I'm pretty sure it's no longer the cop killer.
Well, it's good to know.
Yes, I'm very happy about that part.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, that's a weight off my shoulders.
Well, I think for the sake of the episode, we'll keep the cop killer in on the title.
Right. He meant to be a cop killer.
Yes.
This was his intention.
This was intention, yes.
So we can keep
but
it. But
for the future, starting today onward,
we can alter it, or there can be a parentheses or something like that.
Parentheses.
Or a thankfully shooter.
We'll extend the title
exactly
to ... Thankfully, he did not really die.
Yes.
But he was shot.
Correct. Still bad.
Still horrible, yes.
Really bad. Okay. Very good. Okay. So Here's the question for the listeners out there. Did you ever have a cool teacher who let you have a class pet? And for our audience, I'd love to hear the experiences. Like, I would love them to write in and say, oh man, yeah, we had a goldfish in third grade, right? And if there's any like cool part of that story or whatever, or, you know, cause a lot of teachers would do that. Like, you'd have a class pet and the kids could take it home on the breaks and care for it, the class hamster, the class rabbit, and all of that stuff. So I got that idea from some fellow teachers. They were doing that. I found out I could not have a rabbit, for instance, because I found out the hard way that I'm deathly allergic to rabbits.
Oh, so did you get a rabbit and then you were like, wait.
I was about to get a rabbit, but then my daughter's kindergarten had a rabbit. And so we got to go in and pet the rabbits and all that back to school night. And my whole like eyes went red and my throat started choking up and all of that stuff. And then I realized, oh, I'm allergic to rabbits. Like, so we cannot have a class with rabbits. So that was off the list. So we're doing that with the class. And I heard this is a good idea to soothe them. Now, this was in the days before comfort animals. You've heard of like comfort animals or therapeutic.
I know at some schools they'll bring some dogs onto campus.
And they're trained or whatever, and people bring them on airplanes and things like that.
Sure, yeah.
And so this was way before that. But I had heard that like, oh, you know, these crazy junior high students, like if you have a class pet, they might behave better because they care about the pet. They don't want to scare the pet and all this stuff. So I opened it up and I'm like, hey, what do you guys think? Do you think we should get a class pet? We should get a class pet. What should we get? A goldfish? And all these different things. And this little girl raises her hand and she's like, I know, we should have my little baby tortoise. And I'm like, oh, not even turtle. Like, this is way better because turtles are in water, aquarium, you have to clean it. Like, turtles are kind of a hot mess. Like, they're a lot of work. And so I'm like, it's a tortoise, like it's like a land tortoise. And she's like, yeah, I have a little baby tortoise. It's so cute. And I'm like, oh, well, definitely you have to bring this tortoise in. So the whole class voted, you know, we had our whole list and they all voted for this baby tortoise. So she did have bring in a glass terrarium, you know, for it to be in, and it was so great. So the class voted, and they named it Teny Tiny. And Teny Tiny was so cute, and it worked. All these hyper boys and everything, it calmed them all down. And the trick was we used to have the desks together in groups of 4. And so they kind of be facing each other, and they could reach across and slap each other. And, you know, this was the problem. And so, but if you were selected, if it was your turn, you could go to the terrarium for that 20 minutes or whatever it was and get Teny Tiny out, and you could put him on your desk. And Teny Tiny was so slow that it would take him like 5 minutes to walk across the 4 desks, you know? And then if he walked to you, then you got to like pet him or give him a little piece of lettuce, right?
Yeah.
And then you could turn him around and then see where he went next. And so this actually totally worked with these kids. They calmed down. They wanted Teny Tiny on their desk so they would get quiet and get to where it was magic.
That's awesome.
It was the most magical. And for my afternoon crazy classes, because they're always crazy after lunch, this was like a godsend. Like, oh, I love this class pet. I love everything about this. And then it was totally working. The kids would bring lettuce. And then the girl would take it home on the weekends. So that's how it was, just wonderful. So I'm like, okay, this is the greatest thing ever. Teny Tiny. And then she moved. She moved. And she took Teny Tiny with her. So then I'm like, no. And then the class is boo. And everybody, I'm boo. And it's just like, okay, are we going to get a goldfish? Like, this was crushing because everybody loved the tiny tortoise. And I swear that little tortoise, he would just like walk across and then he would come to you and he would look at you with his little tortoise eyes. It was the greatest thing that's ever happened. All right. So then we went like a month without a pet. And then I'm researching like buy a desert tortoise. I'm just going to buy a desert tortoise for the class. This is too great. And it's illegal to have a desert tortoise. So
the desert tortoise that she brought into your class
totally
was
illegal.
Completely illegal.
Totally illegal. Cannot have it. Bring it. No, can't do it.
Wow.
Yes. it is totally illegal because I guess in the past people would go out to the desert and they would steal the babies of mama tortoises. And so you cannot buy it. That's why everybody buys turtles, because turtles are legal.
What's funny is the only time I've seen a tortoise in person is, and this was years ago, we went to this guy's house to get the swimming merit badge, which is a required merit badge to get your Eagle rank and stuff like that. And he had a tortoise there, like this huge tortoise.
Oh, it was a big one.
I mean, it was a big one.
It was probably 100 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huge.
That's how long they live.
And it's just, kind of crawled around. And then they had a dead tree, like more of like a tree trunk-ish, but it was a little bit taller, and they carved out a little home for him.
Oh,
so he would
that's cool.
He would, slowly make his way over there, and then he'd crawl inside, and then he'd turn around and then just sit there and stare at you as you're like.
Did you get to feed him lettuce?
I did not.
Oh man, that's the best part, because they go like this. It's sorry for our listeners. There's no way they can see this.
I know exactly. Yeah.
It's the coolest thing ever. It's like slow motion eating.
Yeah, we recommend you go watch tortoises eating. I've
at that
seen
part.
videos.
Yes, video. Yeah. YouTube that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But I never got the opportunity to feed them.
Yeah.
So, and that guy was in California.
Oh.
So I don't know how he got the tortoise.
I know how he got it. So I had desert tortoises when I was a kid, and I found both of them walking across the street. So tortoises notoriously, when they get big enough, they burrow out of yards. They escape. They're escapee artists. That's what they are. And so I found this one walking home from school one day, and I got him, and I kept him, and I fed him, and it was awesome. Yeah, it was Smokey. I named him Smokey. And, but I had to be careful, because you could see within 2 or 3 days, he's burrowing under the fence.
Oh, I see.
So you have to block it off and put a brick in there. So it was this constant battle.
Yeah.
So tortoises are always getting out. And then I found another one, and then I got them, and then I thought, oh, look at that. They're playing with each other. They were battling each other. They hated each other. And so, and then he was also walking across the street. I think my mom found him. But anyway, they were battling, so I had to separate them, and finally I gave it to, so you can have a tortoise.
You can't purchase a tortoise.
Buy a tortoise or get a tortoise, like go get one. You can't find. But I guess if one walks up to you, there's nothing you can do. You're going to save him from getting run over in the street, which is what I did, right? So it's weird. It's a quasi weird thing. So how the little girl had Teeny Tiny, I don't know. So flash forward a month or so, and I'm telling the kids, I'm so sorry. Maybe we could get a turtle. And then we were going to try a goldfish, and they were just all bummed out. And then all of a sudden, this other kid in my class, and I don't even yes, I do. Now I remember. It was also a little girl in my class. She comes in with another baby turtle. And this one was bigger, a little bit bigger, but it was still a baby, right? It was a couple years old or whatever. Yeah. And it was like, what? And she's like, I got this from my aunt or some, I don't know the story, but she got this little turtle. And she's like, and my mom said, yes, we can have it be the class pet, and we can do this again. And the class is, yeah, we got, and we got to name it. Okay. So of course they name it Teeny Tiny 2. Okay. So they named it Teeny Tiny 2. The problem is, on the aquarium cage thing, they misspelled tiny and they spelled Teny. Teny. So, not to be mean, I'm trying to save, their little fragile self-esteem. I'm like, oh, that's so cute. Yes, that's Teeny Tiny Teny 2. Yes, that's what he is. He's Teeny Tiny Teny. That's a cute name, right? Yeah. So the kids are like, yeah, that's his name. Okay, so we now have Teeny Tiny Teny 2. And this is great. So everything's working the same. I can't believe our luck. This is the same year. I mean, this is the second baby tortoise. This is magic. So all is well. Except I've got this kid in my class, and all I can say is that everybody from student to teacher to principals and vice principals referred to this kid not by his name, but by the nickname Dead Eyes. Yeah. And you don't want that to be your nickname. But this kid absolutely didn't care if that was his nickname. This kid, okay, so let me just disclaimer here. Public school. Mm-hmm. Public school is like the greatest experiment in America besides democracy. I mean, if you think about it, it's like, we're going to throw everybody together, and rich, poor, black, white, doesn't matter. You're an American. You're not even a citizen. We don't care. We're going to take you. We're taking everyone. This is what we do. This is like, right? This is pretty cool what we do. So we're going to take everyone, despite your limitations or whoever you are. It doesn't matter, genius or not that smart. Everybody gets in. Everybody gets a quality education. That's the goal. Right? Yeah. Everybody gets a quality education. We turn no one away. Mm-hmm. That's amazing. So I'm very proud of that. So that means, well, if you think about it, are there serial killers in this world? Yes. Are there killers and evil people? Yeah, right? In this world. All of those people were at one time in their life a student, a little kid in public school. Usually. Right? Public school is going to be your pretty default option on that. So that means that, these killers and these serial killers were all kids once, right? So the question is, like, what were they like as kids? What was the serial killer like as a kid? Like, were there indications? Like, could you see it? Like, what did the teachers say about this guy, right? That this is exactly it. This kid, Dead Eyes, was that kid, but that bad person in the future, but as a kid. Yeah. So, okay.
Now these were the warning signs.
These are the warning. So the warning signs are, if they look at you with hollow, dead eyes and never smile, and every student comes to the teacher after the first day of school and says, please don't sit me next to that kid. Gosh. He scares me so much, right? Never speaks, doesn't respond, dead eyes. There's just a whole thing going on there. Yeah. And teachers are frankly afraid of this kid.